Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to my final project of action research, a short pilot study. Only lasted about 2 weeks with 5 clients or participants, I should say. And it's bridging the gap for stretching in older adults. So the problem of practice, I have older adults, 55 to 88, that experience chronic pain and stiffness, and they're not stretching in between my personal training sessions. So I have to revisit the stretching, and I feel like their progress could be made faster if they just stuck with some structure at home and did their homework. So stiffness rebuilds between sessions, and that limits their progress. Um, and that is the main piece here. That's a research problem setting and objective. Going into slide 3. This was a 2 week pilot. I wanted to be 4 weeks, but the semester got away from me. In the setting, my private gym, my participants 55 to 88, and we already have an established relationship. I am their trainer, but I'm also the researcher, so that's going to come in later as I'm the dual roles at right as the practitioner and as the researcher. The main question you want to know is to what extent does a daily 10-minute home stretching routine improve self-reported movement, comfort, and adherence among older adults in my personal training clients over 2 weeks? Right? So every 2 weeks we can change it up, and you'll see how I plan to change it in cycle 2. Um, but the planning benchmarks is just reduce their stiffness, and 20%, 50% would be great. With such a low group of participants, it's a little hard to, you know, make casual findings about that. So what was the intervention? There was these 3 stretches, right? A standing hip flexor stretch, also known as like a flamingo stretch, where you bring the leg up and stretch the quad and hip flexor. Seated hamstring, one leg out, kind of reaching out. 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other, and then laying down, bringing that knee to the chest, and maybe doing some rocking side to side to relieve some of that paraspinal muscular tightness. All right. Pretty simple there. The 3 main parts, I think as a kinesiologist, these were pretty good. I could do a ton more, but they won't do more, right? So the next one is our action step or my pilot implementation. What is it founded on, right? It's founded on social cognitive theory and self-efficacy. Do they believe they can do this on their own? And the title says behavioral anchoring bypasses scheduling friction and builds self-efficacy. So I also wanted them to create a habit of this, doing this daily. In the paper, I talk about the ACSM standards of 2 to 3 days per week. But I find that people need to integrate it into their lifestyle, whether it's in the morning after some tea or coffee, or in the evening when they're relaxing and trying to calm down their nervous system for bed. And going into number 6, so data collection and key findings. The 4 data streams, right? We learned about triangulation and we implemented that. The first one was the survey, right? 1 to 10. Is it improving your stiffness? Is it improving your lower back comfort? And do you feel more confident doing everyday things like doing dishes, folding laundry, all that stuff? Week 2, or data stream 2, weekly adherence logs. This is where it kind of took a fall here. I had them do paper checkoff list every day. Did I do my morning stretch? Yes or no? Sound pretty easy. People don't like paper and pen in the morning doing their coffee and stretching routine. Number 3, weekly verbal check-ins. So I just talk to them when I see them for their training. Hey, did you do your stretching? And number 4, I had a little journal to see, who did I think was going to do best and what did I think was stopping them, whether that was the length of the stretching or if they weren't habit stacking with something else, or if I thought they should probably do another stretch. Because I did talk to them and we modified as we went. Um, but I think the bigger modifications will happen at the end of the research because that's action research, right? We change it up every iteration. More key findings, the median comfort and confidence score shifted upwards. Lower back comfort went from 4 to a 6. Movement confidence 5 to 7. Self-reported stiffness 7 to a 5. I'm not really sure this means a whole lot because of how low my group was or how small my group was. And I don't know if they were just being nice. And because I honestly don't know if I believe that these increased so much in the few 5 stretching sessions they did or 6 stretching sessions they did, right? I don't think that they're really being honest, if I'm being frank. Um, Next up, the daily log thing, right? So I think in any other research or experiment that this would just be like a big fault. Like, okay, so 40% of people dropped out according to the paperwork, but when you talk to them, they were doing the stretches. So uh, definitely is an indicator of that we need to change something here. And that would be maybe doing online check-ins or just a verbal check-in, which I think would be the easiest with this demographic. Okay. That described the tool mismatch, the administrative barrier, and it's kind of artificially underrepresented, right? Because if I don't have the paperwork to prove that they did it, I only have my log. Um, that says something. Dropout signals, I pretty much talked all about that already. Excellent. A quote from one of my ladies, one of my participants. Johnny, I did the stretches every morning with my tea, but having to find a pen and check boxes made my home feel like a clinic, and I just want to move and stretch and feel better. I don't want to do homework, so I should probably paraphrase this. Nice person, but clearly does not want to do paperwork. I think especially because she sees me, they see me uh, twice to 3 days a week. So it's like, why am I doing this if I'm just going to tell you that I did this? So I think on a larger scale, this would definitely be necessary, but on a smaller scale that I'm performing, maybe not so much. Okay. Ethical considerations and limitations, right? We talked about the power dynamics, right? They want to please me. Most of them want to please me, right? So they might be, giving a higher score because they want to build that relationship. They don't want to let me down. Independent recruitment, they were all my clients. Voluntary assurance, they all said they would be doing it. I mean, I have 10 clients and only five of them participated, so definitely voluntary. Um, Data security, I think this felt so strange to do because I knew exactly who was one, two, three, four, and five. However, I can see the importance of this if someone else was looking at my data. They don't know if Bob was improving or doing his homework and Sally was not, right? Um, yeah, this felt like overkill. Um, let's see, next slide. Recommendations and next steps. Did I go with that one? Yes. Okay. Uh, Cycle two, we're going to reduce the amount of exercise because I feel like some of them weren't honestly holding the stretches long enough. I think they say they're holding it for 30 seconds, but when you have them stretch on their own in front of you and you see how long they hold these stretches, it's not 30 to 45 seconds, right? So I think going forward, implementing like set a 5 minute timer or a 10-minute timer and stretch the entire time and only do the two stretches that you like. I will recommend they do the standing quad stretch and the needed chest compression. And if they want to do more, they can do more. Uh, but I think that would increase the likelihood that they stick to it every day and not the days they feel like it. And I think they'll be more honest about it. That is slide number 11. 12. More recommendations. Weekly warm-up transition to conversational oral check. Yes. So just like I said, I'm going to talk to them because I have that and I can do that in action research. So abandon the daily logs, replace it with just talking and make it easy. Like just like how did your movements feel this week? What mornings did you actually do it after you had your coffee or before bed? And I think that would be better than did I do it or not? Because I think that that checklist could probably be even more informative. Why did you do it? Why didn't you do it? What made it easy? What was a barrier? Um, how did you feel? What was your mood? There's all kind in all research, right? We can ask more questions because the more data we have, the better. Um, but yeah, I think this would capture authentic and observational shifts as well. And it also maintains, rigorous documented audit in case someone else wants to look at it, as long as I keep my field notes and my journal up to date. Final reflection and conclusion. So the pre-existing relational trust removes barriers to client blind. I think if these were not my clients and I have not been working with them for the X amount of time, that it would be a lot harder for me to get this buy-in and have them actually want to participate. I think they're all motivated to want to get more flexible and want to stretch and feel better. But I think since I, have known them for years, that they have more buy-in. Um, as far as, managing confirmation bias, it's like that one's tough because I did want to like it's so simple to have your paper log on the counter, right? Just leave it on the counter right where you stretch or by your nightstand when you stretch. Um, so I think this would take some more time to kind of dig deeper into why that didn't work, but I'm not really sure the why matters. It's the fact that it did not work and how to move forward from there. Awesome. Slide number 4. Um, yeah, I said this before. The stretching was in the barrier, the paperwork was. I think a lot of them were honestly doing the stretching, maybe not for the full 10 minutes and not holding it for 30 seconds, but I think they were still doing the stretching. Going forward, cycle 2, I would like to do it for a longer period of time. I think that would be more indicative and predictive of their actual changes when they're saying they're going from a 5 to a 7. They're increasing their confidence by 2 whole points in 2 weeks. So I'm a bit skeptical, but I think as researchers, we should be. Um, Good research is honest research. So I think I'm being honest with you and what I were observed. There it is. Okay. I think that is everything I had to say. Thank you so much. And hopefully this wasn't too wordy for you. Thank you so much for a great semester, and I'll see you next time. Bye.